What is up, team? Today's video is an exciting one because we are adding another keyboard to our collection. Introducing Akko's ACR Top 40 40% layout keyboard. I am so excited for this one because when I saw this on Instagram, I knew I had to get it. I did a couple of research and it seemed like everything that this keyboard has to offer, I am able to use. Obviously, you are missing a couple of keys. This is honestly going to be the smallest keyboard I will ever own, but I'm super excited for this one. I have my switches, I have my keycaps. I will say this is a keyboard kit, so it's a do-it-yourself keyboard kit. It's not an actual full assembled keyboard, so just keep that in mind. This retails for about, I think it was $80 or $89, and Akko was also having a sale by the time I bought this, less than $100, which is honestly great. Let's see what it has to offer. You have your usual Akko logo on here. Ooh, okay, so you get a user manual, which is always great. I'm pretty sure this is going to tell me everything that I need to know to set this up. This is the actual keyboard. I'm gonna put it to the side first because I don't want to look at her just yet. So this is actually my first kit that I've ever bought. I've never bought a do-it-yourself keyboard kit. Most of my keyboards are already assembled. I've done a couple of modifications, but I've never done a do-it-yourself, so I'm excited for this. All right, so the first thing you get is actually a cord. Okay, you get your usual USB-C cord. This is actually really good. Okay, what else do you get? Oh, okay, you get a keycap puller. This is a really pretty color. It's like a nice lavender color. Wow. And then you get a switch puller as well as a couple of screws in there. And I think that's it. That's all you get. All right. I'm used to getting switches, like additional switches. Like you can see here, I always have additional switches that I can like use, but it seems like this is all you get, which is nice. I like the fact that this is a different color than your standard white, which is perfect. And then you get your switch puller. I've never had a switch puller like this, so I'm actually really excited to use it. The switch puller, the closest thing that I have to that one is one that I got on my lubing station, and I actually don't like that switch puller. But this one is a lot smaller, so it should be easier to grab switches. That's nice. I like that. All right, so let's put this to the side and look at our keyboard. Okay, so first thing first is that this keyboard is really small. Look at that. She is tiny. Oh my God. Okay, so she's really, really small. Oh my goodness. She has a frosted case. I don't know if you can hear that, but she is definitely made out of plastic, of course. And it has the ACR Top 40 40% layout, mechanical keyboard. USB-C is on the further left-hand side, which usually I don't mind. I preferred my USB-C connection to be in the middle, but it is what it is. All right, so you get this, you get your stabilizers, which is nice. Wow, this is really, okay, so she is actually transparent a bit. She's like a bit frosted, which is nice. She does have some desk pads, which is great. So she's really not going anywhere, which is awesome. I actually like the gold details. Like I don't know if you can tell, but I prefer gold versus silver. That's just my preference, but wow. Okay, so she's very small. So just for size reference, Akko ACR 40% layout. This is my phone. Like this is, by the way, this is the iPhone 13. Like, wow. And then more reference, I'll put my mouse. Like, that's very small. I'll put my mouse here too. Super, super small. Yeah, she's super tiny, but I love her. She's great. I'm excited to use her. Now, let's see the color that she lights up when we plug her in. Whoa. That's a very pretty color. So you can see that the RGB lights are honestly all over the keyboard. Not necessarily on the bottom, but you can see it for sure. This is great. This is amazing. I love it. She's so small. All right, let's talk about switching. I ended up getting the Akko V3 Cream Blue Pro switches, and honestly, I am not a fan of blue switches, but I've seen so many YouTube videos and sound tests of these that I wanted to give them a try. I only got one set because I wanted it specifically for my 40% layout keyboard. So this is actually my second set of Akko switches. I've bought the yellow cream switches in the past, and those are actually my favorite ones. So I'm excited to try these out. It's a very nice, pretty blue. You have, ooh, okay. Let's do a close-up. And let's put all of our switches onto our new keyboard. Let's actually take a listen to these switches on its own, no keycaps. Here we go. All right, so let's talk a little bit about keycaps. So for this particular keyboard, there really aren't a lot of keycaps in the current market that are going to work with this keyboard. The backspace, the enter, the shifts, there are specific sizes. And honestly, I've been searching for the past few days and I haven't found any keycaps that I personally really like. I think the only keycaps that does work with this is actually a set that Akko does sell, and I'll show a preview of what those keycaps are. But I personally didn't like them. I don't like the white look. For this particular keyboard, I wanted to go with more of a darker feel, but I couldn't find anything that I really like. So that might change in the future, but I think that for now, just to kind of get used to this keyboard and kind of learn how to use it, I'm going to use keycaps that I already have that I think will work for this particular keyboard. And so I'm going to put this aside. The keycaps that I'm going to be using are these. So these are actually Gameboy themed keycaps. This is the Keychron K4 mechanical keyboard. This is, I think this has brown switches if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is backlit aluminum with brown switches. This is not hot swappable, by the way, which is kind of sad, but this is actually one of my favorite keyboards that I've owned. This is one of the first ones that I bought as well. I love Keychron, but I don't like their keycaps, so it's the reason why I switched them out to these. And I really love this keyboard. I actually have a YouTube video on it, so I will link that below, of me switching out these keycaps. But I think I'm going to take these. I'm going to put that on the Akko. Oh my gosh, look how small it is. Cool. I'm going to switch these out, and I think that for this particular keyboard, I'm going to switch out the ones that I had originally bought for these. So before I get into actually switching these keycaps over, I want to talk a little bit about the keycaps that are required for this keyboard. So I've noticed that a couple of people who are buying this particular keyboard, the ACR, they're not really mentioning the type of keycaps that they are using. So I'm going to list out the sizes of the keycaps that you need, specifically for the backspace, for the shift button, for the enter button, for the tab. I'm going to label them out on this video as well as in the description below so that you guys can figure out what keycaps are actually going to work on this particular keyboard, because honestly I bought so many and I returned so many because they did not end up working. So just a little tip there. Cool. Let's begin working on this. All right, team. So this is the final product. I honestly really like the way that it came out. I think it looks so pretty. One thing that I do want to say is that, again, not everything was able to fit the way that I wanted it to. So an example being this cap lock right here is actually the backspace. This tab is the enter button. This mushroom here is actually the shift button, which is so cute. I was able to use this one as a spacebar, but unfortunately there wasn't a big enough keycap for the other side. This is a 2.25, if I remember correctly, and then this is a 2.75. It looks really cute and pretty. Let me show you the keyboard that I ended up redoing. So this is actually the keycaps that I had originally bought for this particular keyboard, but unfortunately these particular keycaps did not work with this particular keyboard. So I love the gradient. I don't have any black keycaps for any of my other keyboards, so I really wanted to try something new. So again, this portion right here might be temporary. To be honest, I really like it. I love the way that it came out. But I think that I might end up changing these. I don't know yet, but we're going to do a sound test to see how this sounds and feels.